So this is where the magic starts
Yes.
after casting. Yeah. So we have a few different cells around here. We have CNC machines, vertical turning lathes, mills, all of the above. Manual mills, manual lathes. We have capacity to do all of our rotojet base plates and skids and bigger stuff on these machines. And then we have CNC machines for machining the castings that we're getting in for our flowway products and our rotojet products and all of our Wemco products. So municipal market is the majority of what we're serving. So we're always happy to help a customer out and make sure that we're happy with the quality that we're sending out so they can be put into function in whatever their facility may be.
Okay, tell us about yourself.
I'm Ryan. I'm an aspiring marketer in the pump industry, I guess you could say. Right now I'm a marketing intern here at Trillium, and I've been here since February. I've been supporting trade show and event coordination. I've been taking pictures, shooting videos, as every marketing intern would do. Just kind of supporting Fresno and telling the Fresno story.
What do you like about the pump industry?
I've always been, since I was a little kid, this is what I said in my interview. I said, since I was a little kid, I was always fascinated by like heavy machinery, excavators and backhoes and all that kind of stuff. And I've been a creative person. I think that's a big part of me. So finding this opportunity, being able to merge my creativity and this kind of industrialism, I think you could say, it's fun to be around. There's never a dull moment, and there's always fun stories to tell. And just being in this environment, I mean, it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, there's some massive pieces of equipment in here, right?
Definitely. Yeah, and even throughout the rest of the plant, it's a lot of fun. Just being able to kind of walk through the plant, take pictures of people working, and have fun. It's a good place to be.
I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah, this is where we're doing majority of our flowway impellers. We're machining tolerances here, and so this is for our flowway VTP. There's a few different types of impellers that are coming through here. There's this VTP one, and then we have our VTSP, or solids pump, which basically does away with this big ring at the bottom here, so it can pass more solids through. That's the inlet in for a flowway pump. So the impeller, the bowls and the impellers are going to screw in right to here, and this is going to be where everything's getting sucked in from.
Very cool.
I think we have about 215, 220 employees here.
Okay.
So we're the biggest Trillium location. Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be here.
A little bit about the Trillium history. Our Flowway brand has been manufactured here since 1934. We just had our 90-year anniversary last year. Our Weir brand was manufactured in Salt Lake City.
I've been to that facility.
Yep, Wemco, WSP. I wish I could have gone to see that. And then we took over all of their product line, and we're still manufacturing Flowway here under the Trillium umbrella. So this facility's been here since early 1900s. This is where the much bigger flowway parts are machined. So like that's the same thing as the inlet over there, just a lot bigger diameter. And we're getting as wide as probably 3 feet across.
So cool. The design, right? Like it's just, that's what helps the flow better.
Yeah,
right? The
exactly.
Unique design.
And that's one of our big things is our slogan. We're performance engineered. So we have a team of engineers here in Fresno that are happy to help assist and make sure your needs are met through whatever product specifications. I just went to an installation in Ogden, Utah, where we had a flowway pump it's on a fault line. So the seismic resilience project is what it was, is what they were worried about, but it was a really small footprint. Typically, installations are using surge tanks to make sure it's not affected by stuff like that, but we actually made a flywheel. I'm not an engineer, so I can't explain it that well, but the flywheel, it kind of dampens the movement if something were to happen. It is this giant hunk of metal just sitting on top of the pump. It was pretty neat.
That's very technical talk right there. You're absolutely
I
an
lose
engineer.
myself sometimes, yeah, but it's a lot of fun. There's always something new.
First
so this
things
is
first.
that vertical, that VTSP.
Ooh.
So it's basically the same as those impellers, just without this extra ring, so it can allow for bigger solids to pass through. We're using those a lot for mining and mineral processing down in Mexico.
This style is less easy for solids to pass through. This one is better.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what we're using for a lot of municipal stuff. It's just its job is to pass through mainly water and municipal products. So I
have a question.
Yeah.
So like you can see how this is you know, still got the like jagged
Mhm.
pieces. So what do they do after this stage?
So this is getting ready to go on these machines here.
Okay.
And this is where they are machining the actual tolerances. And that's specific to every customer. That's something that the engineers will specify for each job. So these guys are working, I couldn't tell you what tolerances they're working with, but I know they're pretty tight. And they're, again, custom cut for every job. I did an interview with one of these guys, and they were saying every single part we send through is different. There's never something the same. We have our balancers over here. So these guys here, like the 102, this is where we're having people balance the impellers. We have our underfile where they're doing kind of a rough balancing, and then they throw them on these machines, spin them crazy fast. Every impeller is balanced for every product line, so you're not gonna vibrate your pump apart.
I gotta be honest, I've never seen this many impellers in one place
Really?
before. Right, they're just like lined up, ready.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
You'll see plenty more. There's always something new coming through here. You'll see, I think last week we had a 55-foot flowway pump with like 8 column sections and 3 stages on the bottom. And then we also make little tiny 2-inch self primers. The whole spectrum, no matter what you need, we're covered. So
It's great to see manufacturing running, going to a plant and seeing it producing. I don't know what year it was, but going to a plant that maybe had like 1 or 2, not here, not
Yeah.
this organization. But I was like, are you manufacturing? Because it seems like nothing's happening. And
Yeah.
so it's really great to see that.
yeah, there's a lot of movement around here. There's never a dull moment, and there's forklifts going everywhere, bringing parts and everything wherever they may need to be. More impellers.
I know, just
It's
impellers everywhere.
Yep. Waiting and ready to be shipped out for customers. Giant flowways. We've seen bigger than that. 1,500 horsepower motors out here. All sorts of fun stuff.
Okay, so this one's ready to be shipped out.
Yep. So this is one of our flowways in our Trillium signature colors. And those are the bowls with the impellers inside. And each bowl adds a stage, which adds more head and PSH. So we've seen pumps with 40 stages, 40 impellers on one shaft being spun by one motor.
40?
Yep.
How do you test that? That is.
We'll go over there. We have a test pit
Okay.
and a whole test lab for the horizontal stuff.
Wow, that's mind blowing.
Yeah,
I mean, you see it, but you don't
exactly.
fathom 40 impellers going into that. Tell me what you're working on.
I am working on a feed box for a hydrogritter.
Okay. And how long have you been working at Trillium?
I've been here 3.5 years.
Okay. What do you like about the job?
I like working with my hands, so I really like putting things together. And so with hydrogritters, we get to pretty much get a bunch of pieces and with nuts and bolts and rivets, just put them together. And then we get to provide a good service to the world as we're using hydrogritters to help with wastewater management.
Yeah, and it's so important. We can't do anything without water, so thanks for helping us. It was nice to meet you.
I think that's a common theme here is from what I've interviewed, some of these factory guys, they're all love working with their hands and they enjoy what they do.
So this is what he's working on?
Yep, so this is our hydro gritter, grit separation. And same thing, we have, this is a relatively small one. I've seen massive. We might be able to find a basin that we'll walk by. This is our hydro gritter in our WSP non-clog area. So that's the impeller for non-clog. So this is our fabrication. This is where we're doing all the welding for the hydro gritter basins and whatever else may need welding, the flowway heads. So he's working on, looks like base plates for pumps, for pump packages. Yeah, those are some giant hydro gritter augers. So I think those are the WIM clone, which is the part on the hydro gritter that gets everything into the hydro gritter.
So Johnny, tell me what you do here.
Welder and fabricator.
You're a fabricator. What do you like about it?
What do I like about it? The challenges it brings. So there is a lot of challenges. Not everything is the same. Everything is customized.
Yeah.
So
Do you help manage anybody else, or are y'all all kind of on your own?
I'm the acting lead man with my supervisor in here. So I just gotta kind of look over the whole job.
Well, you're doing a great job. It's
Well,
very
thank you.
nice to meet you.
Well, thank you.
These are some pumps that we have in for service. They've been working their hearts away.
Hey, I'm Charlie.
I'm Brian Voitila. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Tell me what you do here.
So I'm the managing director of our global business unit. We call ourselves US Pumps, which is a division of Trillium Pumps and Valves, which we're a global business.
Okay.
Here in the Fresno facility, we manufacture a number of brands in the water industry, as well as the mining industry and some oil and gas and industrial. We've gone through a pretty significant transformation here in the US Pumps business unit. In 2018, we decided to close a facility in Salt Lake City, which then integrated all of our brands, which you see on the wall, into one common manufacturing location. And it's been quite a journey, not just in products, but process, and then more importantly, people, bringing people up to speed and helping them understand how we can serve our customers better. And we're finally, I'm very glad to say we're finally at the tail end of that journey. And now we're at the ability to really grow and serve our customers in a different capacity.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just noticing walking through the plant, all of the the impellers, there were so many different impellers, but being able to service the customer from here, because I have been to the Salt Lake City plant. I've been to a lot of plants, but it's nice to see manufacturing moving, going, producing, and you can feel that here.
Yeah, I think the uniqueness that we have is we're manufacturing in the Central Valley of California in the U.S. I mean, there's, as you've mentioned, you've been to many locations. There's global players. We compete with people making products in India, China, Mexico, the rest of Latin America, Europe, and we still compete. And we do that by having engineered solutions that we provide to customers, and also optimizing process so that we can be efficient and still deliver value to those customers. Even in a world with today's economic environment, we're still able to manufacture product here and compete and serve our customers. So it's a good opportunity that we have, and we're really proud of where we are.
Yeah, and we're thankful that we have a pump manufacturer here in the U.S. to help.
Yeah, we've been making pumps, through different brands in the Central Valley for about 90 years. We actually just celebrated the Flowway brand's 90th anniversary last November, but we're continuing to go. It's exciting. The Central Valley is not just the ag capital of the world. We also have a very strong presence in manufacturing. And one of the biggest industries that I mentioned earlier that we serve is our industrial water market, which is everywhere in the U.S. Every municipality, both on the clean water side, providing fresh water to residents, but also on the dirty water side. If it goes down the sewer, we have pumps in every municipality that are handling those solids and liquids that go through the sewer systems.
Yeah, we gotta have it. It's vital to life, right? It's like we have to have it. You have to have water, you have to have food, you have to have energy. So yeah, wonderful. Well, I'm excited to be here. Look who I ran into. Tell them what you did and how long you've been here.
Yes, I've been here for a little over 43 years, and spent the last part of my career as the product director for the Trillium specialty pumps and vertical turbines here in Fresno.
We've spent a lot of time, I would say, not just focusing on the products we make, but also like generating a sense of community. That was a big area that we had a gap with in the business that was here before. Especially you have to integrate everything from Salt Lake City. We just didn't have that community base. And so some of the easy things are sustainability projects. So we've done different things. You can see the tail end of our growing. We were doing some growing and some recycling. We generate a lot of coffee grounds, so we were trying to find an easy way to be able to reuse that. But it's just an example of a different type of community engagement that we wanted to generate here, and I think that's been really, really exciting to see.
I've noticed that just in the people that I've talked to, like an old, a pump that can't be repaired, and then making like a flower pot out of it, right? Like just being creative ways. So I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we can walk down this way. I think that us being in California, California has such strict regulations on environmental sustainability. Like, we should be more prideful about that, and we should kind of take that in stride. So it's our goal to end up being the most sustainable facility in all of Trillium. And then ultimately, as that becomes more and more of a thing that our customers engage us on, like we'll have already had that groundwork done.
Yep, and it's coming.
Yeah. So these are our 2 test labs. We'll go into these next after we go through Building 9. Building 9 is where we manufacture the majority of our specialty pumps products: rotojet, self primers, torque flows, screw flows. And then we have another area which is in the fab shop that I think you guys walk through, which is where we do our non-clogs, our chop flows, and our hydrogritter systems, which are all in industrial and also municipality markets. So we just recently celebrated a milestone, which was the shipment of our 1,000th self-primer since the product lines had moved over here.
Okay.
From Salt Lake City.
Okay.
But you can see like the volume of self-primer. These are our self-primer products. We have a torque flow there. The volume of our product lines are continuing to be strong, and the market demand's there. So this area, the way it's all set up is we have a number of assembly cells. So we have our self-primer cell, then we've got our screw flow cell, we've got our torque flow cell, and then on the far side we have our rotojet assembly cell, which has some specialized equipment, specialized process. Right now we're going through a pretty high volume of torque flow pumps that we're building. This is a screw flow here.
Okay.
But a high volume of torque flow pumps, the blue one here and the tannish ones.
Why?
We have a very large order for a municipality customer. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to New York City at the New York DEP. So these impellers they're designed to handle like really hard solids and really anything that goes down the drain. So they have a very high surface hardness. So they have like a Brunel hardness of about 450 plus, which is a very hard material. So it takes a really long time for them to start to wear out. But that's also a nature of the service, and it's part of the brand reputation that they have. They're known for lasting a very long time. So we have one rotojet here, and then we have another one on the stand. We have a few that are going through. We're actually, this month, we have the highest volume of rotojets we've ever shipped. So the team is really on top of it. But this is a really unique product line, really specialized in the low flow, high head applications. You know, whether it's industrial applications, oil and gas, you know, anywhere where you have a really small volume of liquid but needs to be pumped at a high pressure. This is a very unique product line, and we're really proud of it being made here. We're still the brand leader and the market leader for low flow, high head applications. Our assembly technicians are cross-trained, so they can build all of these different product lines. And that's been a key part as the demand ebbs and flows between self-primers, torque flows, screw flows. The team can flex depending on the volume that we need. So Kenneth actually is a really good example of, he originally started with us in the warehouse almost 3 years ago. So he started in the warehouse, he started to understand all the different parts, really didn't have any pump background, you know, got to know what a impeller was, what a casing was, what a wear part was. And then from there said, hey, okay, I want to learn how to assemble. So then he was in the assembly team. And then from the assembly team, he's now over here in the test lab. And he's been assisting the team with running testing. So it's a good example of how we're really focused on trying to progress people through the organization. And a big thing that I've told people is, I don't want you to be here to do a job. I want you to develop a career. And I think that started to kind of catch on with the different people in the organization.
Yeah, I love it.
So we tried to replicate as much as possible the test lab that we had in Salt Lake City, so that we could really do a plug and play. But in here we can test anything from really small torque flow pumps all the way up to high speed rotojets that run 6,000 plus RPM. This is also the area where we do the hydrogritter system, so we can walk down this way. We do the hydrogritter system testing, and then we have some larger pump, higher flow units. We can test up to roughly about 10,000 gallons per minute. Lower pressures, and we're actually looking at upgrading our test lab so we can actually handle some of the higher pressure units that are coming over from our sister facility made in Italy. Yeah, this is a hydrogritter. 5 boroughs in New York City. We have systems in every one of their wastewater treatment facilities. Not only hydrogritters, but also torque flow pumps and screw flow pumps. So we have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the largest installation base in New York City of any pump company. And they're a key customer of ours.
So this one here, is it going to be tested? That's why it's in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we actually do testing with sand. And let's go around that way. We can see, just watch your step here. You can see the sand that comes through. Obviously, in a water treatment facility, it's not sand, it's what we call organic matter, which is really the end product of a treatment facility. But the goal in a hydrogator system is to separate the moisture from the solids. And as you can imagine, with any type of organic that's going through a wastewater treatment facility, moisture likes to stick to some of the solid organics. So this system helps separate that so that the byproduct, in this case sand, but in many cases really the organic solids, can actually be put into a landfill and then recycled.
Yeah, I mean, sand gets on everything and sticks, so I think it's a good
Yeah.
representation. That's
So we have a
great.
tank that has a water sand mixture in it, and you can see in there. This is really for testing. Then it goes through. It gets pumped out, goes through our system on the self primer on the side, comes up through what we call our WEM clone system, which really creates a vortex. That vortex is traditionally attached to those large holes you see up there, which then feeds the sand water mixture into the spiral, and the spiral acts really as a let's call it an old school pump. It's an Archimedes screw design, and it does that separation between the solids and the liquids. On this area, this is where we have our 3 rotojet test cells set up. We don't have a rotojet in there now, but we have designated testing apparatuses to be able to test these at high speed, as well as do any unique testing that's required for the customer. And then this is the area where we have customer witness capability. So if a customer wants to witness something, they can see. Hey, Vache. Vache is one of our test technicians. Vache also came through assembly.
So I got here about 4.5 years ago. Started doing self-primers. From self-primers, we got all the products down from Salt Lake, and I started working on each product line little by little. I was able to establish Rotojet Cell, and from there I moved to Test Lab. So I've been in Test Lab for maybe 2 years now.
So you were building the pumps first, putting them
Yeah,
together, and
right.
then now you're testing them.
Right.
Yeah. Why do you like pumps?
Well, yeah, I do like my job, and I mean, these pumps make a difference, right?
She's also very passionate about the pump industry.
Right.
So you just mentioned that you go around and you meet with a lot of different pump manufacturers. You see pumps day
Yeah.
in, day out.
And I also really have a passion for water, so I also go like to Africa and see where people don't have water and know the importance of clean water. Even like going over there and not being able to drink the water myself, you're like, oh, okay, this is why we really need the equipment to work, so that we can have clean water. So thank you for that. So tell me who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Scott Baldwin, and I work at the test lab at Trillium Flowway Pumps.
And how long have you been here?
I've been here 30 years.
Why did you get into it?
Well, actually, I came over in the maintenance department originally to help run a water treatment system that was here before. And then I got moved down to the test lab and been there since, well, 20 years ago.
Why do you think they moved you to Test Lab?
Well, being in maintenance has a lot to do with working in the lab. There's electrical, there's mechanical. So they probably saw what I was doing in maintenance and said this would work in the test lab. Keeping her going, yeah.
Yeah, keeping it running.
Yep.
Well, I love that. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you for the work that you do
Yeah, well, no
to
problem.
test the pumps that go out into the world, make sure that they don't fail in the field,
Yeah.
right?
We do between 400 and 600 a year.
I think that's one of my favorite things about visiting this facility is that there is activity and movement and keeps you busy. So,
Oh yeah, non-stop.
well, we'll let you get back to work, but thank you so much.
This is where we do all of the vertical pump testing. We have a low flow loop, and then we have a higher flow loop. And you can see all the valves and actuators that we use to be able to administer the different tests.
I mean, you can't see it because it's in the water, y'all, but that's how it is all the time.
Something worth mentioning is an upgrade that we're doing. So this is our blast booth. This is an area that it's a difficult process. It's very taxing on the employee. It has a lot of safety hazards, right? They're in the booth. They have to wear the masks and the
Full suit.
the suit. They're blasting the media. Everything's blowing everywhere. But we have parts that need to be blasted so that we can apply good quality coating on them before they go to a customer. They come in different types of, let's say, different levels of quality before they get to our facility. So what we're doing is we're actually going to be automating this. And we've partnered with a company here in California. They're called Gray Matter Robotics. and they are an AI robotic company. And so this is really our first venture into automation. But the idea behind what Gray Matter does is they provide really a service. They're providing a automated service that we essentially kind of like a lease, where we are paying for that service on a regular basis, and there's a certain level of productivity and output that we are going to be paying for. But the really cool thing about it is they essentially have a robot that has eyes on it, and those eyes scan the part, identify the surfaces, understand what needs to be blasted and what doesn't, and then it produces its own tooling path. So we don't have to do any programming. All of that's done by using their language model and AI to really automate that.
That's amazing.
And so it's a great opportunity for us to prove that we can do things differently. Also with using new technology, with the AI boom that's happening now. But we're very excited too to partner with a California-based company, because actually we have 2 of our operators that are down there today that are doing training, and tomorrow. And so it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna make their life easier.
Yeah, and our plan is we're gonna have this installed at the end of September. So we're very, very close to having it put in.
What?
We just walked through our quality department, so the quality they're reviewing. Good morning.
Hi. Morning.
They're reviewing anything that's either non-conformance or things that need to go back to suppliers. Yeah, we have a very, very robust quality system, especially after the integration of the Salt Lake City products here, because the volume increased significantly of what we were trying to produce. So this is where we assemble all of our Flowway product lines. The uniqueness, maybe the thing I'll highlight, is this is the biggest or the longest pump that we make, Flowway, the brand, and we do it in the building that has the lowest roof line. But that's mainly because when you're building these, you build them in a horizontal fashion. But we have technicians that have been here for a very long time, very proud of what we do. This project actually is going to the Willamette Valley Water Reclamation Project up in the Northwest. And it's a very large project for us as well as our customer. As you can see, so they just decoupled the discharge head from the remaining part of the pump. This is a configuration we're doing for testing. When these pumps are installed in the field, they're 97 feet long. So, and there's, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's 4 of them. So you can imagine like the size and the scale, not just to do them here, but also to do them in the field is pretty significant. And the logistics, we're talking about big parts. So, and you can see here, you know, everything from really large pumps down to small pumps. We have some bowl assemblies that are being shipped for aftermarket customers, unique, you know, pump configuration for Flowway. We kind of do a bit of everything.
How do you know this one is different? Like, how do you know?
I mean, I don't know the specifics, but I did just notice that it has like a defouling system on the bottom of this, which in some cases is like an electrical anode. So it may be going in like a seawater application. And then this will run like an electric current down to make sure that things don't cling to the suction intake, which is typical in like seawater. You have barnacles or other types of marine life that'll get connected to the pump. It's just a unique design.
Very cool. No.
So not just with the products and the people, we really want to focus on our process. So what we've done is we've really rolled out and implemented a really robust continuous improvement team. And we have the unique opportunity that we have a master black belt who's gone through the Toyota production system in a prior life. So he's very skilled and very knowledgeable about this process. This is some examples of our Gemba boards, which the team meets every other day in many cases to talk about the production, you know, what problems we're having, what things we need to solve for the day, how we're doing in delivery. But this has really been a big step change in our ability to ship product on time. This area, this is all of our taping and paint. So we're doing final touch-up paint. You can see he's checking the bottom of those rotojets and figuring out where we have, this is final touch-up paint before these products go to our customers. They're also taping them up so that they'll be painted, and then this is the final paint area where we do final coatings, which is an open booth. Which has a negative vacuum feed to it, so obviously all the paint fumes and everything get pulled through the paint booth itself. So you're at the You're here near the end of the month, which means it's quite busy. So
Okay,
you see
good.
a lot of, especially in shipping, but you can see some of the finished products here, some of our finished flowway pumps. And again, you can see the uniqueness in the different product lines. Not just flowway with the bowl assembly, but obviously a very long skinny flowway product line, as well as some of our immersible screw flow pumps that we've supplied and torque flow pumps we've supplied to our customers. Yeah, we've got a really good shipping crew, very dedicated to making sure we get good quality product out to the customers, making sure it's packaged correctly, whether it's a domestic shipment or an international shipment. We've done some process improvements like prefabricated boxes, but overall, the team does a really good job of making sure we get stuff out on time. So this is our engineering area, but we're in the process of developing an R&D lab because we have some new product development items that we know we can enhance. We're building the lab up now, but then we're trying to use 3D printing technology more, as well as work with outside vendors to do 3D printing for metal parts. But just the rapid prototyping, if you will, process is something that we're really trying to build that muscle within the business. And then this is our entire engineering area, which we have product engineers, project engineers, really good tenure within the organization and the industry. So.